All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 50 minutes or so with you. We're going to go through what this business is all about, what the opportunity is all about. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in the live stream around the country. So as you can see, Constantia, or DuePoint, is a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company that was founded in 1952, so we've been around for nearly 7 decades. We don't share offices with them, but they're just down the road in Randburg. That's the orange logo that they use. The FSP number that we use is that one over there. You'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all our Financial Services Board licenses on display. So go take a look at those. We've got a long and short-term insurance license, an investment license, our FSP license, as well as our accreditation with the Direct Marketing and the Direct Selling Association. So go take a look at those. Those are our stamp of credibility. I'm hoping that'll allay any fear that you might have that we're one of those schemes or one of those companies. So we're certainly not. Got very reputable individuals involved here. These are the executives and the managers here at DuePoint. Brendan Benfield is our senior executive. He heads up this division. So the 3 characters here are all registered chartered accountants. Brendan's got a lot of experience in financial services. His father's actually a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years. His father founded Clientele Life all those years ago, along with the IFA. And they've actually founded a host of businesses globally that have been very successful. Brendan and his brother Stuart actually followed in their father's footsteps. They went on to found a short-term insurer down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, which I think is now the 4th biggest short-term insurer in the country. Tim and Stacey, they look after all the auditing and the regulatory, the financial aspects, the accounting aspects of our business. Tim is very experienced in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years. Stacey's worked in auditing all her career with Deloitte. She worked here as well as overseas in Europe. So those are the boring accountants. Then the more colorful individuals, Jane and myself. Jane is here this evening too. She's actually from the UK. She's got a lot of experience in direct marketing or direct selling or network marketing, which is fairly important to our business, because even though we're an insurance company, our growth is very much dependent on our ability to work in the network marketing space. And Jane brings that international experience with her. And then myself, I've been working in advertising for over 20 years. I ran my own agency for about 15 years. Fairly successfully. We worked very much in the financial space, and that's the team. We've got our client service staff, we've got some admin staff. Our mandate as staff of DuePoint is to support everybody that joins us in this business. So we want to see you being as effective as possible, because as a business we can only be profitable if you guys are being effective. And so we do everything to support you, to see you guys doing as well as possible in this business. So that's a bit of background on us. You're welcome to go do a background check on us. We're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. This is a fairly negative slide. You can see there's a whole bunch of negative words immediately there, right? Debt, worst, poverty. Okay, so we're going to go quickly through what I call the driving factors. It's typically factors that kind of push people to look for entrepreneurial opportunities. Unfortunately, they're all negative factors, aren't they? Because if you didn't have any issues in life, if your salary was doing everything you needed it to do in your life, you wouldn't be here this evening, most probably. So the driving factors typically are the economy in a fairly bad state. I think we've just popped out of a recession about 6 months ago, but it's really nothing to talk about, or at least to write home about, because it's performing at, I think, under 1% at the moment, which is ridiculous. So we've got high inflation, we've got high interest rates, we've got food inflation that's just come down below 10%, but it's still extremely high. And we see it in the fact that your salary is not keeping up with the cost of living at the moment. Right, so you can feel it at the end of the month. You'll notice that. It seems like groceries are just getting more expensive, or your money is being stolen by somebody, right? But you're not making ends meet. And this is true for a lot of South Africans. Unfortunately, what we try to do, and we often criticize for it as an economy, as a country, is that we engage too much in debt instruments. And there's a whole plethora of different debt instruments you can engage in. But I think we try to use debt to remedy the situation. But it certainly doesn't. It actually exacerbates our financial position, and that gets further proliferated when we look at retirement. So you're going to get to retirement one day, whether it's 60 or 65, and you're going to ask yourself that dreaded question: what have I done in the last 45 years to secure myself a dignified retirement? Because hopefully over the 45 years you've put something together, some investment, you've got some pension together that helps you get through your life as a pensioner, right? So it could be from the age of 65. People are living a lot longer now. The current mortality rate in South Africa is 74, but it's getting the number's getting bigger and bigger every year. So I expect people born this year are probably going to live close to 100. And so your retirement has to cater to this extended longevity that humans have. So out of all of this negativity, as a business, we saw an opportunity to create a platform that the average South African can engage in. We call it the DuePoint system. It was launched almost 2 years ago now, with a few aspirations in mind for the people that join this business. So you might be thinking, well, I'm just here to earn more money, but money is just a means to an end, right? So to that end, we've got these aspirations that we find aspiring as a business, perhaps something that we'd like wealth engineers in this business, people in this business, to also aspire towards. So number one is to become debt-free, completely debt-free, because really the opportunity here is, and perhaps the drive, is to create wealth. Right? That's really what this business is about, is to create wealth. But you cannot create wealth if you owe other people money. Right? Does that go without saying? It's almost obvious, right? And so our first aspiration is always to become debt-free. Second, to start creating wealth, and we do that through ownership of assets, ownership through investments that appreciate, hopefully. And then the third aspiration happens automatically, because if you're debt-free and you're creating wealth, then the third one is being happier. Right? Everyone depressed in January, right? You spent all your money in December, and in January you're now trying to fix it. You're hoping 2018 is going to be the year. It's going to be the year that you set the record straight, right? You're tired of this debt cycle that you find yourselves in. So those are the three aspirations we have for people in this business. You're going to align yourself with those aspirations or not. It's completely up to you. You have the opportunity. So how many guests do we have in the audience? This is a quick show of hands. The only question I'm going to ask you. How many guests? Okay, cool. So welcome to the guests. You have the opportunity to join DuePoint this evening. You'll contract with us. Once you contract with us, we call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, we only expect one thing of you, and that is for you to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what a channel of distribution is. And basically, it's just you introducing people to DuePoint, and our online platform will facilitate the sale of product to those people. And that's basically how this business works, right? Explained in 2 sentences, the benefit for you is you get to create additional income over and above your salary, right? So additional income. The nature of the income, very important, is recurring income that we produce here. So that's the nature of the income. Some people refer to it as passive income. I always refer to the way my father explained it to me when I was very young. He said it's your ability to make money while you're sleeping. Do you know that's even possible? To make money while you're sleeping? Right? It is possible. It's actually something that's inherent with some businesses. Some businesses create recurring or passive income. Insurance companies do that. We call it a book value, and book value pays us income every single month. And it's something my business that I ran for 15 years couldn't do. We were very much a service-based business, right? So we would have to do services in exchange for income. And we would start at zero at the end of every month. So we would do work, right? We had programmers, developers, designers that would do the work, and then at the end of the month, hopefully we've made enough money to pay everyone's salaries and the cost of the company. But then on the first of the new month, we start at zero again. And our salespeople have to go out, chase the business. We have to do the work, invoice the work, and it was this repetitive process, month on month, starting at zero every single month for 15 years. I could never do something last month that would pay me next month, right? I never made money while I was sleeping. Never, ever. Always had to be in front of a computer to make money. And so I walked away from that business because the realization dawned on me that I wasn't creating recurring income. I'd have to work for the rest of my life, right? And this is typically the position a lot of us are in when we're unable to create wealth in our lifetimes. We harness the power of duplication in the DuePoint system. So this is the ability to create leverage. Businesses do it. The boss in the business does it. He leverages everyone working for him, right? So you've got the CEO, you've got the board of directors, you've got senior management, you've got management, and you've got all these people, right, filtered down, all being leveraged to the benefit of shareholders and the boss. We get to do something similar in this business, not as competitive, but you get to go out and find like-minded individuals to collaborate with you. Right? So in building these channels of distribution, if you can go find 20 other people to help you, for example, that's 20 times the leverage that you have on your own. Because if you only have an hour a day to invest in this business, but you have 20 other people helping you investing the same amount of time, suddenly you've got 21 hours being invested into this business, hopefully increasing your recurring income. So that's leverage. Those two, recurring income, power duplication, are my favorite benefits in the business. The business is flexi time, so you have the luxury of deciding when you want to do this business. Not a part-time business. I don't say to you, get here by 6:30 and you can leave at 9:30, right? Going forward, you get to decide whenever you feel like doing this business. But that's a double-edged sword, because on the other side of it, if you only do this business when you feel like it, you will never be successful. Right? That's called a hobby or a New Year's resolution. Right? Like playing computer games, those type of things. We do them because we feel like it. In business, when you're trying to be successful, when you're involved in anything entrepreneurial, you have to do it when you don't feel like it. You have to keep yourself accountable to the time that it requires to be successful, to make that change. Right? So don't get confused by flexi time. There's good and bad there. There's no startup capital, no registration fees. So we make the business as accessible to everybody by making it as risk-free as possible. We don't have boxes of product that you have to invest in to get started in this business. Jeez, that was a big mosquito. What was that? Right? So there's no boxes of product. There's no qualifications or experience required in this business. Did anyone bring their CVs this evening? Nobody, right? We laugh, right? You didn't expect yourself to be asked that question. Where's your CV? Oh, I didn't bring it. We don't expect your CVs because we're not interested in your experience or the qualifications that you might have. And at the same time, we also contract you out of all of the FSB regulation. That's very important because we operate within financial services. And if any one of you are experienced in financial services, you'll know how onerous an industry it is to work in. When the FSB came out with the Phase Act in 2002, it pretty much marginalized almost 100,000 financial advisors. They walked away from the industry. 100,000 people walked away from the industry because they said it's too difficult to operate in this industry. Right? So you get to benefit by working in financial services, but we contract you out of that regulatory obligation. Now, probably the most important benefit is you get to build an asset. Now, why is this so important? This is the antithesis of employment, because in employment, what you'll do is you are contracted to work for a company, and typically we'll work for somebody for 40 to 45 years, building up somebody else's asset, where we don't really get to partake in the upside of that asset when it does well. So if your company does well, does your salary suddenly go up? Does the boss say, okay, bonuses for everybody because the company's doubled in size or doubled in turnover, doubled in profit this year? No, only the shareholders, right? Maybe the executives, maybe senior management get a share of that. You don't get a dividend check every quarter based on the performance of the business, right? But we have to partake in the downside of business. So what's the downside? Suddenly your company starts doing badly, you get told at the end of the financial year, sorry, no salary increases because of the economy this and the company that and the industry that, right? And to take it even further, retrenchment. We've got to partake in retrenchment if the company does really badly. In this business, it's the opposite, because the time that you invest in building these channels of distribution, know that you're building an asset that you have ownership over. You've got legal tender over this channel of distribution that you're building. It will keep paying you once you're retired. It'll carry on paying you even once you die, because you've got an asset that gets passed into your estate. Right? And hopefully you're going to leave that estate. Your will define who it goes to, your favorite child in the family. They'll inherit your channel of distribution or whatever else. So know that the time you're investing into this business is not something that has value that disappears. Right? It's got value that hopefully gets greater and greater in terms of that recurring income that you build. There's no selling involved. Any salespeople in the office? Let me rephrase it. Any good salespeople in the building? Okay, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a couple of salespeople here. The majority of us don't like selling, right? Anyone feel like selling stuff to friends on the weekend? Is that a favorite thing to do on the weekends? No. Ugh, we're terrified of doing that, right? And so you don't have to do that. We actually contract you out of selling. And again, it kind of falls into those FSB obligations that we get rid of for you. So there's no selling involved in our business. You're going to be going out and just telling people about the business opportunity, right? There's a very big difference there. Not talking about product, you're talking about business opportunity. Number one commodity in the country at the moment. There's no stock or distribution issues because our products are intangible. They are financial products. Like I said, we don't have boxes of product that you have to buy. You didn't have to bring a bucky to load up product today, right? You don't have to fight with the spouse to look for space in the garage. Doesn't have an expiry date on them, right? No milkshakes and vitamins leaving this office today, right? So as convenient as possible. But your success in this business is very much dependent on your ability to go out and build channels of distribution, right? So I said I was going to show you what one looks like. It begins with you. Picture yourself as the CEO, the MD of your channel of distribution. I'm hoping you're going to go out and find very resourceful, effective, like-minded individuals to collaborate with you. Not just anybody in the street. You're going to go look for particular people. And if you find these particular people that also see the vision, the opportunity that DuePoint offers, and they become wealth engineers and they take out one of our products, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. Because those individuals are going to go out and do exactly the same thing as you. They will go out and prospect individuals looking for the same opportunity. And so you have this organic growth that takes place in your business, in your channel of distribution, beyond your efforts. This is leverage. This is where power duplication comes into play. Because you only brought 5 people into the business, but your channel of distribution can look like this, and you're getting paid for every single product-paying person in your channel. Right? This is the primary focus at DuePoint. This is what your channel looks like. This is what your recurring income is going to be reflecting. And in a few years, I'm hoping that if you build a sustainable business, in other words, a business built on quality individuals that you bring into your channel, you will have the pleasure of being able to walk away from the business without having to nurse it anymore, right? Because that's ideally where we want to get to in this business, where you can have a channel of distribution that pays you when you don't have to look after it on a daily basis. But that takes a few years to do. That doesn't happen overnight. You've got to invest that time, 3-5 years, into this business. And what does that look like? That looks like going on a 3-month holiday with your family and not worrying about your income. We will never have that privilege in employment in 50 years. You will never get to that position where you take 3 months. That's what we call between jobs or retrenched. Right? Okay, so this is what a channel of distribution looks like. This is our disclaimer slide. I think people come in with a fear that maybe they've been invited to one of these get-rich-quick scheme presentations. I know I got exposed to 1 or 2 of those when I was in my 20s. Not recently, though, but I still believe there's still plenty scams and schemes all over the country. So to allay your fears, I'll remind you again, we are a very reputable business. We've been in business for nearly 70 years. We are regulated by the Financial Services Board. We are licensed. We've got very reputable individuals. We list on the Joburg Stock Exchange. So I hope no one has this fear that we're one of these schemes. But at the same time, perhaps some people wish we were a get-rich-quick scheme. Who wants to make money slowly? Anyone willing to make money slowly? You all have to nod and say, yes, you're willing. Right? Because being successful quickly never happens. Never, ever happens. Right? I wonder who won the lotto on the weekend. What was it sitting at? 70 million rand, the lotto? They did a documentary on lotto winners. They lose their money in like a year, 2 years. That money is in and out already, right? We have to work hard in this business if we want to change our circumstances. You have to be aggressive about it, right? And that's why we've got the picture of the ballerina's feet. Because we look at entrepreneurship, successful business people, and that's what we see on the outside. Because from the outside, it looks quite shiny and pretty. But to be successful at anything, that's blood, sweat, and tears. So like a professional ballet dancer, that's what her foot actually looks like, right? So I hope we can all have the sense of appreciation of what is required to be successful entrepreneurs. Okay, so this is my warning slide. No one's left, so I assume everyone's ready to work hard. Great. Okay, so how do you earn in this business? There are 2 ways to earn. One is through our returns program, and the second way is through our rewards program. So I explain the returns program. The returns program is the recurring income that you build in this business, right? So we pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product that you have in your qualified channel, okay? So you can see there's a whole table here. It is dependent on where that product lies compared to where you are. So all the product that or the people that you've introduced to your channel. So the people on your first point, these are people on your first point. These are people you've gone out and personally invited. It lies on point 1, and on point 1 we pay you double the 27.50 Rand. Then remember, those people go out and they look for other people, and that product lies on your second point. And again, you get paid 55 Rand on point 2. And then on point 3, as your channel starts to grow, all the way down to point 8, you see the multiplier starts to drop the further away the product gets from you. But what's important to note is that from point 8 onwards, we keep paying you the 4%. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn in this business. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get in this business. We are 22 months old. We already got individuals that have got up to 0.30 in their channels. 0.30 in less than 2 years. How big are their channels going to be in 20 years' time, right? They're going to be earning on every single point. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn here at DuePoint. The accountability always lies with you. So this is the mechanics of the returns, fairly straightforward. The next question typically that we get is, well, how much money do people earn in this business? So to give you an idea of how much money someone can earn in this business with time, we built this projection called the Path to Success. It is based on a certain premise. The premise is a growth formula. So it assumes, as a brand new wealth engineer, just for sake of the example, that you can bring 3 people into the business in your first month, right, onto your first point, and then 2 people every consecutive month. So in January, you're going to find 3 people. In February, 2. March, 2. April, 2. May, 2. June, 2. And you're going to keep bringing 2 new people every month onto your first point. So if you can do that, if you can follow that growth formula, you can expect to earn this type of money with time. After 6 months, 2,500 Rand a month in recurring income. Who thinks that's worth 6 months of work? 2,500 Rand. What's 2,500 Rand? Maybe a handbag, maybe a new pair of shoes, maybe a week at Checkers buying groceries, maybe if you're lucky, right? Or 1 punnet of imported avocados. See how expensive avocados are at the moment? Sure. I don't know why we import any of the stuff. It's so expensive, right? 2,500 Rand. Do we appreciate the value of 2,500 Rand, or are you like me and thinking, oh, that's not really that much after 6 months of work? That's 6 months of work. You're only going to get to 2,500 Rand. Let me illustrate something to you that perhaps will create a paradigm shift for you. It'll change the way you think about money, right? Because I assume everyone here has got debt. Has everyone got debt? Anyone debt-free? Anyone win the 70 million on the weekend? No lotto winners here. At the 6-month mark, we've got an example of an individual with 1 million Rand debt. They've got a bond on a house, right? So at 1 million Rand at prime plus 2, you're probably going to be paying back the bank about 11,500 Rand a month for 20 years. So if I finally get into a position where the bank is willing to give me a bond, I'm 40 at the moment. So at the age of 40, I engage in this bond. I'm going to make my last 11,500 Rand installment to the bank in 20 years' time. That's when I'm 60. That's depressing, to think that you make your final installment on your home the day you retire. The day you retire. But it's just in time. But at the age of 40, I joined DuePoint. 6 months later, I'm earning 2,500 Rand. And instead of spending the money, which is very easy to do, right, because it doesn't buy you that much, instead what I do is I listen to Rob and I decide to pay my debt off faster. What is the net effect of that? Why would I want to pay my debt off faster? What value do I get out of that? I'm going to explain to you the value. Because on a bond, on this 1 million Rand bond, you put 2,500 Rand into that bond every single month. It'll reduce the bond term from 20 years to 11.5 years. You nearly halve the term of your bond. I'll become a homeowner. I'll make my final installment at the age of 51 instead of 60. It saves me in interest. Listen to this. It'll save me in interest that I would have carried on having to pay back the bank almost 1 million Rand. The house I financed cost 1 million Rand. 2,500 Rand will save you nearly the full value of that asset. Right? At the age of 51, you could take that money and go buy a second house. You could spend the next 14,000 Rand that you're now not having to pay from the age of 51 for 9 years. You could put that into a retirement fund. These are options that we created for ourselves in the space of 6 months. Little 2,500 Rand. After 12 months, you've created for yourself about 100,000 Rand in annual recurring income. So who would like a 100,000 Rand check at Christmas every year? Wouldn't that be nice to create that for yourself? It's 12 months away. After 24 months, you suddenly have 30,000 Rand a month. You're just doing 3 plus 2. You're still bringing 2 people in every month. At the month 36, you're closing in on 50,000 Rand a month. Month 30, here's another example, illustration for you. Probably earning about 36,000 Rand a month. Here's a 5 million Rand bond. You've got 2 choices with a 36,000 Rand a month. What would you do with 36,000 Rand a month? Extra, every month. Do you know what I would do? The wealth engineers know what I would do. I'd buy a brand new Porsche. But I'm married, my wife won't let me. She won't let me buy a Porsche. right? What would happen if I put the money into my bond? I'd prefer the Porsche, but it's a way more responsible, mature decision to put the money into the bond, because the net effect is so much greater than just spending the money. If I put 36,000 rand as an additional payment, I'll pay that bond off in less than 7 years. At the age of 47, I become a homeowner on a 5 million rand house. Now I've paid my debt off, I can start creating wealth for myself. So I buy a second property. I pay that off at the age of 54. I buy a third property. I pay that off at the age of 61. I now own 15 million rand in property assets instead of an old 15-year-old Porsche sitting in the garage that's depreciated next to nothing, right? We have to make the decision 20 years before we get to really enjoy the fruits of that decision. After 48 months, we're close to 70,000 a month. See, that's nearly doubled in the space of a year. 60 months, 5 years, you're close to 1 million rand in annual recurring income. How about 1 million rand check every Christmas? Bet your spouse would love you more if you did that. It's all academic. This is just an example that the accountants came up with called 3 plus 2, the path to success. You can do a lot less than 3 plus 2. So you don't have to bring 2 people every month. But on the opposite side of it, you can bring more than 2 people. If you want more than 1 million rand after 5 years, do 4 people a month, right? 1 person a week. We showcase wealth engineers doing more than 3 plus 2. We showcase wealth engineers that show tenacity in this business, that really show the value of money. As Nick and Shani, they at nearly 2,500 rand after, what was it, about 10 months. So they joined on the 8th of September. By July, about 10 months in, close to 2,500 rand. They're behind 3 plus 2, right? Wouldn't you give up if it took you 10 months to get to 2,500 rand a month in this business? You wouldn't give up? Yeah, right. How much money do you need to have in the bank to give yourself 2,500 rand of interest a month? You need $500,000 sitting in the bank account to produce that. That's the question you're going to be asking yourself when you get to retirement. You're going to look at your retirement fund and go, how much money do I have in the bank? Because that is the interest that you're going to rely on for the next 30 years of your life. They created 500,000 rand equivalent for themselves in the space of 10 months. And they're going to carry on going. Right? Jack Delama has been in for about a year. In November, it produced over 8,000 in recurring every month. Don Landon from PE also joined December last year, or the year before. So it's been about 12 months. By November, over 11,000 a month. So that's equivalent of having 1 million rand, no, 2 million rand in the bank. Mortleit Sonne from the Free State joined in April. May, June, July, 3 months, 5,000 rand. Created for itself equivalent of 1 million rand sitting in the bank account. We have to change the way we think about the value of money. Right? That's why recurring income is so valuable to us, because it empowers us way more than once-off money. Always. We've got thousands of wealth engineers that join this business every single month that are creating additional income for themselves over and above their employment. Everyone's different. Often compare all our wealth engineers to all of us taking off at Comrades Marathon. Right? We all want to be like Bruce Fordyce, but we need to run our own races. Decide what you want in this business and figure out how to get there, because it's on offer. This is our returns program. This is the recurring income that we produce here at DuePoint. I told you there was a second way to earn, and that's through our rewards program. The XP rewards program works like this. You become a wealth engineer, and when you start doing typical wealth engineer things, we give you something called experience points, or XP. That's why it's called the XP rewards program. So here's all the things that you can do. It's about 20 different things that you can do, like coming to presentations or watching them at home, bringing guests, coming to training, bringing guests to training with you, logging into your mobile app. When you do all of these things, you earn XP. And as you start collecting more and more XP and your channel of distribution starts to grow at the same time, we reward you along the way. So if you become a wealth engineer this evening, you'll start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. Right? Can you see you're not on the slide? Because you're not important to us. Right? But to get to rank 1 is fairly straightforward. You only need 1,000 XP. You need 4 products in your qualified channel, and suddenly you become a rank 1 wealth engineer, and we give you a once-off 55 Rand reward at the end of that month. So it's just a once-off reward that you get. It's not recurring like the rewards program, returns program. It's just once off. But as you start to rank up, as you start collecting more XP, as your channel starts to grow, the rewards certainly get bigger. There's a 20,000 Rand check waiting for you, a 50,000 Rand check. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them build their channels of distribution more effectively and more efficiently. At rank 5, we give all our rank 5s this fancy little USB stick that plugs into anything. It can plug into cell phones, tablets, laptops, computers, TVs, whether it's Android, Apple, Banana, doesn't matter what device it is. All our video collateral is on that device. So Patrick and Pumi can show anybody the DuePoint videos regardless of what device they have around them. At rank 7, we get these premium business cards. I don't want to say printed, they get manufactured because there's no ink on those business cards. The sides of the cards and the logo get foiled or what we call gilded in gold leaf, right? Remember the old Bibles in the old days? They used to be gilded in gold on the edges. It's the same process. Only one person left in the country doing that in Cape Town. It takes a very long time. Frustrates me very, very much. Right? But a handmade process. Why would we spend so much money? 12,500 Rand for one set of cards for you. Because the premium, luxurious cards that you get at rank 7 will make a notable impression with anyone that you prospect. If you sit down across from somebody that's never heard of DuePoint before, you've got no credibility, right? Because that's what branding is all about. Branding is about credibility around a brand. If no one's heard of DuePoint, there is no credibility. But the moment you put a 12,500 Rand business card on the table, and that person realizes your business card costs 50 times more than their business card, suddenly DuePoint's credibility goes up. It affords you time and opportunity to explain what the business is about, right? At rank 9, this is actually one of the recurring ranks. So at rank 9, you get to enjoy 7 days away at a 5-star luxury resort, all expenses paid trip, business class flights for you and your family every single year going forward. How's that? You don't believe it? Well, I'm going to show you. We did our rank 9 trip 3 weeks ago. So have a look what we got up to. You've got 11 months to get to rank 9.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
So that's what's on offer at rank 9. Half those wealth engineers got to rank 9 in less than a year. Right? So you got 11 months. One individual got there in 5 months. So certainly possible, right? Your decision. What are you doing in 2018? Hopefully not what you were doing in 2017. Okay. At rank 11, we spend R250,000 on a brand new car for our wealth engineer. No debit order for you at the end of the month. That's the best kind of car to drive around, is one without a debit order. So this is what our rewards program looks like. This is rank 11. You saw the table went down to rank 20. We've actually designed it up to rank 28. Right? So what we think is the next 20 to 30 years, we've mapped that out for successful wealth engineers in this business. We are 22 months in, folks. We've got a third way to benefit as a wealth engineer, and that's through our Wealth Quest. So Wealth Quest works like this. It's a challenge that we issue our wealth engineers every month. So it's different every single month. It runs from the first to the last day of the month. January's is called Hit 2018 Sprinting, where we challenge you to bring 20 people onto your first point in the month of January. And if all those people pay their product successfully in the month of January, you will have an extra 10,000 Rand over and above the return that you've created for yourself, which will probably be about 1,100 Rand a month. Plus you'll be at least rank 2. And that can happen for you before the 1st of February. Right, so that's on offer this month. We get asked the question, how does DuePoint afford all of these things? This basically illustrates our business model. Traditional insurance companies spend a fortune. They've got huge budgets that go towards marketing and advertising, because that's how they gain clients, right? Purely through marketing and advertising. DuePoint doesn't do any marketing and advertising, so we don't spend a cent. We don't have any budget that goes to marketing and advertising. You won't see our logo outside of this building. Instead, we rely on our wealth engineers to go out and tell people about the DuePoint business opportunity. And so instead of taking the billions that insurance companies typically spend on marketing, we can take that portion of our budget and attribute it to the returns and rewards program to the benefit of you guys, to the benefit of our wealth engineers. And that's basically how our business model works. We've got 3 products at DuePoint for you to consider. So you're welcome to take out one product or all 3 products. It's purely a personal decision that you get to make. The benefit of all 3 products are financial in nature. So starting with our first product, this is an investment product. It's called the Access Wealth Plan. It's 299 Rand a month. And for that 299 Rand a month, 100 Rand will be invested into a tax-free investment fund. Right, that sits with Sanlam. And on top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance to the value of 110,000 Rand of personal accident cover. So you get a little bit of insurance with this investment product. 299 Rand a month. The nature of the investment is a no restriction investment. That means you can draw your investment out at any stage. You don't have to give us notice. I know a lot of investments, you need to have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days notice. 0 days notice in the investment. You can draw it out at any stage. So that's Access Wealth. The second product is called Wealth Guard. It's 274 Rand a month, and Wealth Guard is strictly an insurance product. So it's only insurance, 274 Rand a month, but this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover with this product. What's important to note about this product is that it's not life insurance. Right? It's not funeral cover or life insurance. It doesn't cover you in the event of death through illness or natural causes. Why would we create a product like this? The beauty of this product is that we can offer this product to anyone over the age of 18 because we don't profile you from a health risk point of view, right? So you can be 80 years old, you can be diabetic, you can have cancer. It doesn't matter. The premium remains the same and the amount of cover that you receive remains the same. So that's Wealth Guard, the insurance product. The third product is called Wealth Points. It is 274 Rand a month. And what Wealth Points aims to do is to save us money on the money that we spend every month anyway. So if you look at the list of suppliers that we have there, or the companies, the partners that we have, I bet you spend money with at least one of them, right? So we've got a whole plethora of different businesses there. For 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with these businesses. Right? So you get discounts. The discounts are different with every partner. So, for example, always on Wi-Fi data, typically to buy a gig of data through them would cost you 100 Rand. We've negotiated them down to 37 Rand. Right? So it's 67% off on that. So the discounts vary with all of them. The grocery stores are a lot tighter because grocery stores play with very little margin. So they only give us 2.5% there. But 2.5% on the amount that we're spending on groceries every year is surmountable, right? So take a look at our webpage if you want to go look at more detail around our products, but the products have been designed to be very straightforward, not complicated products. We've got a dev seminar this weekend, so on Saturday, Brendan's going to be going into depth about each of the products. So there's already a video on our YouTube page. You can go watch reviews of our products. It's probably 5 to 30 minutes long for each of the products. If you have any questions, come speak to me about the products. I'm sure I can answer them. So what is the decision we need to make this evening? For me, I like to sum it up very basically, without hopefully scaring anyone away. And this is something that I got from Elon Musk because I was watching one of his interviews. He's a very interviewed entrepreneur. He was talking about entrepreneurship, right? So think back to that ballerina foot. He says when people look at entrepreneurship, they think about it romantically. They go, oh wow, it must be so great to be an entrepreneur. There can only be success if you're an entrepreneur, right? 95% of businesses fail in their first year. How are those odds for entrepreneurship? He says to be an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to partake in the downside of entrepreneurship. The downside is the late nights, working extra hard, not listening to the naysayers in your life. And he listed all these downsides to entrepreneurship. So for me, the decision is very simple. Are you willing to endure the downside of this business, of any entrepreneurial business? Because you've seen what's on offer, right? We went through the returns program, being able to create a recurring income, mitigating your risk in employment, right? Retrenchment, all of those things, all of those negative things that contribute to you looking for an entrepreneurial opportunity. Are you willing to endure that? That's the decision for me. Can you keep yourself accountable to working hard in this business so that you are successful? I want to see you successful. Our entire business is geared to support everybody in this business. So the number one thing that we want for you is for you to change your life in this business. But it starts with a decision that you need to make. Joining is very straightforward. Read our code of conduct. It's our contract with you that defines what you can and cannot do as a wealth engineer. Registering as a wealth engineer is very straightforward. You can do it on our website. It takes about 7 minutes, or you can do it on our mobile app. So the person that invited you here has got the mobile app. You can do it on their phone. And then complete the online training. We do training all the time. We are always producing content and videos and knowledge, right, in support of your endeavor in this business. So we've got 7 videos that make up our basic series, right? So it's 7 hours that you need to invest in just studying what this business is all about. Set goals for yourselves. This is probably one of the most important things in life, is setting goals. People don't set goals enough. People think fantasizing at night about what they want is setting goals for themselves. That's not setting goals for yourself. Setting a goal is writing something down with a deadline on it, right? And being explicitly descriptive about what that goal is. You need to know that goal. You need to dream about it. You need to know exactly what it is and set that stick in the sand, right? Because that's the only way you're going to achieve it, is by setting it first. Prepare a plan to get there. So we constantly, in our videos, our dev seminars, we help you strategize formulas to getting to your goals, right? And we can cater to any goal in this business. And then the basic activity of talking to people. So Don Landon summed it up perfectly when he came up on stage. He said, this business is so simple, so simple. He says, but if you're not speaking to someone every day, you're not doing the business. You're not doing the simple business, right? So simple activity of just speaking to people. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. These are things that we thought would help you build your channels of distribution. Like I said, first impressions and credibility are very important in this business. So foremost for me is that you get yourself business cards. All right? The cheap vanilla ones. I'll pay for the expensive black ones when you get to rank 7, but you buy these ones at the outset. Get the business cards. You cannot do this business if you don't have business cards. Goes without saying. We got USB sticks. So these are great new USB 3, 16 gigabyte, or maybe 32 gigabyte USB sticks. We've got all our videos on there. So if you're data shy, if you don't want to spend money on data, get the sticks. They plug into everything nowadays. Power bank, so your phone never dies. Notebook, pen, pins. Those pins represent people that are at rank 1 or above, right? So if you see someone wearing a pin, you know they're earning money at DuePoint. If you see someone not wearing a pin, you know they're not earning any money at DuePoint. Who do you go speak to for advice, ever? The person wearing the pin or the person without the pin? So the moment you get to rank 1, make sure you buy a pin. Very inexpensive pins, but wear them with pride. Make sure the people in your channel, when they get to rank 1, that they get pins for themselves, right? So that's the merchandise, all on display in the cabinet there. The pricing's on the counter. Once you become a wealth engineer, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We just uploaded 2 videos today. Did our wealth engineers get the notification that 2 videos were uploaded onto the YouTube channel today? Did you go watch them? Our new 2018 intro presentation. So the presentation I'm giving tonight is about 50 minutes long. The ones we uploaded freshly today are Brendan's is 20 minutes, so you can decide who you want to watch. You can watch my boss, Brendan, or if you want a nicer presentation, you watch me. Right? And I'm more concise because my presentation is 15 minutes. So those are videos that cater to the amount of time your prospect has, right? You'll say to somebody, you're interested, they say yes. You say, how much time do you have? I've got 15 minutes. You say, watch Rob for 15 minutes. He'll explain to you the entire business. All right? So you can cater to limited time. So we've uploaded those 2 videos. So subscribe because you'll get told every time we upload a new video, and all our live streaming is done through YouTube too. Download our mobile app. It is your primary tool of business at DuePoint, is your mobile app. So it goes without saying that you need a smartphone to run the mobile app. It runs on Android and Apple devices. Once you've downloaded it, update your profile photo, because the moment you update your profile photo, we will give you 1,000 XP. How much XP do you need for rank 1? 1,000, right? So there you go. Rank 1 is so much closer just by updating your profile photo. Some don'ts that I'm going to highlight, because I know you don't like to read fine print. No one reads their code of conduct. So a couple of things to highlight. This business is designed for people that have the resources to thrive in it. Right? What I mean by that is that the business is not a charity business. We often get criticized that we're not helping the 10 million unemployed people, the people that don't have any money. Unfortunately, you cannot thrive, right? Because the business has got certain requirements. One, you need to be able to afford one of our products. You need access to the internet. You need a smartphone to run the app. You need access to transport. All of these things are a given to thrive in our business. And so our business is targeted to people that have the resources and access to these things. Keep this in mind when you go prospect people. You don't want people that don't answer any of these questions in the positive, right? In the affirmative. Don't ever complete a DuePoint application on behalf of somebody else. This is actually fraudulent. It's breaking the law when you do that. I think it happens when people prospect people who don't know how to use the internet, people who don't have smartphones. They say, just write your details on this page here. I'll go do your contract with DuePoint later tonight. That's fraudulent. That's illegal. So not allowed to do that. Make sure people in your channel aren't doing it. You can't add direct family members that are in your household into your channel. We call this an anti-stacking rule. So it's a very black and white, straightforward rule. If you've got family members who are in your household, you share the same cost of living, in other words, they can't be in your channel. Don't start your own DuePoint Facebook page. My bugbear. Friday morning, I get an email. Someone has just started a DuePoint Johannesburg Facebook page. So I thought I was DuePoint Johannesburg. Who is this person? Right? You cannot do that. It's actually breaking FSB regulation. So we can get into a lot of trouble, and we are constantly fighting this barrage of people that seem convinced that by launching a Facebook page, they're going to become millionaires. Right? It doesn't work. This is a face-to-face business. This business is built around relationship with individuals, and that is always face-to-face. Right? So don't start a Facebook page, please. We will find you very quickly, within minutes, and then I've got to phone you, threaten you, suspend you. Don't send lead DuePoint prospects to our offices or anywhere unattended. The point speaks to the responsibility you have around prospects. So if you prospect somebody, treat them professionally, always. You never know who you're prospecting. That is one thing I've learned in this business. People in this business never know what the effect is going to be of someone joining their business. You can go, I think this person's a superstar. They join your business. They don't do anything. Then you invite some stranger that you don't really think is going to do much, and he goes and shoots the lights out and brings 1,000 people into your business on his own stead. Right? Always treat every prospect the same, professionally and with respect. Right? We bring the point up because we've got strangers coming into the office. They say, I've met Bob on Facebook. He said I must come to head office. Brendan or Rob will take care of me tonight. Big no-no. Okay, so there's some 5 don'ts that we highlighted. A reminder, 10th of February is our inaugural Converge Awards evening. So it's our first awards evening that we're having. It's for rank 4s and up, so you can see that it's only by invitation. So it should serve as motivation for you to get to rank 4 before the end of the month. Okay? What's the time? We are done. Guys, I remind you, you have got 11 months ahead of you before the end of the year. In December, we are going to be sending those chauffeurs to pick up our rank 9s again at their houses with their families to put them onto business class flights to our rank 9 international conference again. What are you going to do over the next 11 months? Because only you can decide what you're going to do that day. When you wake up in the morning, you get to decide what your destiny is going to be. And only one person can design their destinies. That is yourselves, right? Make 2018 count. We are here to support you, to collaborate with you, to enjoy your success with you. If you have any questions, come speak to me afterwards. I hope you all have a wonderful 2018. Thank you.